What if I told you that everything you've been taught about life is wrong? That you're not here to struggle, to survive, to just get through another day. Life is not a test you pass or fail. Life is not a battle you fight. Life is a game, a quantum game. And right now, most people are playing it with the wrong rules, using the wrong strategies, aiming for the wrong goals, and that's exactly why they're losing. But once you understand the real rules of this quantum game, once you learn how to play it correctly, you don't just survive, you dominate, you win, every single time. And I'm about to show you exactly how to do it. Let me start by explaining what I mean by quantum game, because this is the foundation of everything. In quantum physics, reality is not fixed, it's not solid, it's not predetermined. Reality is probabilistic. At the quantum level, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until they're observed. The act of observation collapses the wave function and creates one specific reality out of infinite possibilities. This is not philosophy. This is not theory. This is proven science that has been validated in thousands of experiments, and it applies to your life just as much as it applies to particles in a laboratory. Your life is not predetermined. It's not set in stone. It's a field of infinite possibilities, and you are the observer collapsing those possibilities into specific experiences based on how you play the game. Most people don't know they're playing a game. They think life is just happening to them. Random events, bad luck, good luck, other people's choices affecting them. They're victims of circumstance. They're like someone sitting at a poker table not even realizing it's poker. They're just sitting there hoping to get good cards. They have no strategy, no understanding of the rules, no awareness that they can influence the outcome. And so they lose, over and over, hand after hand, year after year. And they blame the cards. They blame the dealer. They blame the other players. They blame the economy. They blame their parents. They blame everything except the one thing they have control over, which is how they're playing the game. But you're different. You're here because some part of you knows there's more to this. Some part of you suspects that life is not just random chaos, that there are rules, that there are strategies, that there's a way to win. And you're absolutely right. There is a way. And the first rule of the quantum game is this: you are not a player in the game. You are the game itself. You are the board. You are the pieces. You are the rules. You are the dealer. You are creating the entire experience from the inside out. This is the most important thing you need to understand. You are not separate from the game. You are not a small piece trying to navigate a big board. You are the entire game playing itself. Once you understand this, once you truly get this at a cellular level, everything changes. Because if you are the game, then you have complete control. Not control over other people, not control over external events, but control over your experience of those events, control over your interpretation, control over your response, control over your frequency, control over your state. And that control is what creates your reality. You're not trying to win someone else's game. You're creating your own game and deciding what winning means for you. Most people are playing someone else's game, their parents' game, their culture's game, society's game, the media's game. They're chasing goals they don't actually want because someone told them those goals equal success. Money, status, the big house, the fancy car, the prestigious job. And even when they achieve those goals, they feel empty, hollow, unfulfilled, because it wasn't their game to begin with. They won a game they never wanted to play. So rule number 2 is define what winning means for you. Not what society says winning is, not what your parents want for you, not what looks impressive on social media, what actually lights you up, what makes you feel alive, what you would do even if no one was watching, even if you never got paid, even if no one ever knew about it. That's your game. That's your win condition. And until you define it clearly, you'll keep playing other people's games and wondering why you're miserable even when you're succeeding by their standards. Close your eyes for a moment after you finish this section and imagine you're at the end of your life looking back. What would make you feel like you won? What experiences would you need to have had? What would you need to have created? What kind of person would you need to have become? Who would you need to have loved? What impact would you need to have made? Don't think about what sounds impressive. Think about what would make your soul feel complete. That's your win condition. Write it down. Make it specific. Make it visceral. Make it undeniably yours. Now here's rule number 3. And this is where it gets powerful. You win the game by changing your state, not your circumstances. This is the mistake 99% of people make. They try to change their external reality while keeping their internal state exactly the same. They want more money while staying in scarcity consciousness. They want a loving relationship while staying in unworthiness. They want success while staying in fear of failure. They want health while staying in stress and anxiety. And it doesn't work. It cannot work. Because in the quantum game, your state determines your reality. Your external circumstances are nothing but a reflection, a mirror image of your internal state. If you want to change what's outside, you must first change what's inside. Your state is the combination of your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your energy at any given moment. It's your frequency. It's your vibration. And your frequency is like a radio signal that broadcasts out into the quantum field. The field responds by reflecting back experiences that match your frequency. This is not wishful thinking. This is physics. When you're in a state of lack, the field gives you experiences of lacking. When you're in a state of abundance, the field gives you experiences of having abundance. When you're in a state of fear, the field gives you things to fear. When you're in a state of love, the field gives you things to love. When you're in a state of possibility, the field opens doors. When you're in a state of limitation, the field confirms those limitations. The game is not about manipulating external circumstances. The game is about mastering your internal state. This is why two people can be in the exact same situation and have completely different experiences. One person loses their job and falls into depression, believing life is against them, that they'll never find another job, that they're a failure. Another person loses the same job and sees it as liberation, as an opportunity to create something better, as the universe pushing them toward their true path. Same circumstance, different state, different interpretation, different game, different outcome. The person who maintains a high state, a powerful state, a creative state, will manifest new opportunities almost immediately. The person who collapses into a low state will spiral into more loss, more struggle, more confirmation of their limiting beliefs. Not because the universe is punishing them, but because their state is literally creating their reality moment by moment. So rule number 3 is, master your state. Become hyper-aware of what state you're in at all times. Are you in creation mode or reaction mode? Are you in abundance consciousness or scarcity consciousness? Are you in your power or in victimhood? Are you in love or in fear? Are you expanded or contracted? Your state in this moment is creating your reality in the next moment. If you don't like what's showing up in your life right now, check your state. It's always the state. Change the state, and you change the game. Here's a practical technique. Set timers on your phone every 2 hours throughout your day. When the timer goes off, stop whatever you're doing and check in with yourself. Ask, what state am I in right now? If you're in a high state, in flow, in joy, in creativity, in peace, in gratitude, acknowledge it. Feel it fully, amplify it. Stay there as long as possible. If you're in a low state, in stress, in fear, in anger, in frustration, in overwhelm, don't judge it. Don't make yourself wrong for being there. Just notice it, become aware of it, and then consciously shift it. Take 3 deep breaths. Shake your body physically to shift the energy. Put on a song that elevates you. Think about something you're genuinely grateful for. Do whatever it takes to shift from low state to high state. Because every moment you spend in high state, you're broadcasting a signal that brings you closer to winning the game. Rule number 4. In the quantum game, you don't chase goals. You embody outcomes. This is a massive paradigm shift that most people never make, and it's why they struggle for years trying to manifest things. They set a goal, let's say making $1 million or finding their soulmate. Then they spend all their time and energy chasing it, working harder, hustling, trying to figure out the how, forcing strategies, taking action from desperation, and the whole time they're doing this, they're in a state of not having it. They're in the energy of lack. They're in the frequency of wanting. And that energy of lack and wanting is exactly what creates more lack and more wanting. They're actually playing against themselves without realizing it. The quantum game works completely differently. You don't chase the $1 million. You don't chase the soulmate. You become the person who already has the $1 million. You become the person who is already in the loving relationship. You embody that identity right now, in this present moment. You feel how that version of you feels. You think how that version of you thinks. You speak how that version of you speaks. You make decisions how that version of you makes decisions. You carry yourself how that version of you carries themselves. You embody the outcome before it manifests in physical form. And from that embodiment, from that identity, the right actions become obvious. The right opportunities appear. The right people show up. The right doors open. Because you're not chasing anymore. You're not in pursuit. You're attracting. You've become a magnet for the outcome because you've matched its frequency at the identity level. This is what it means to play the quantum game correctly. You're not trying to get somewhere in the future. You're becoming someone right now. And once you become that someone, having what they have is inevitable. It's just a matter of time before the physical reality catches up to the internal reality you've created. The circumstances will rearrange themselves to match your internal reality. This is quantum law. This is how the field works. It must reflect what you are being. So stop trying to get things. Stop trying to acquire things. Stop trying to achieve things. Start being the person who already has those things. The having will follow the being automatically, naturally, inevitably. Here's how to practice embodiment every single day. Every morning before you start your day, before you check your phone, before you think about your to-do list, spend 10 full minutes sitting in the identity of your desired outcome. If you want wealth, sit in meditation and feel what it feels like to be wealthy. Not to have money in your bank account. To be wealthy as an identity. Feel the security that comes with wealth. Feel the freedom. Feel the generosity. Feel the peace. Feel the confidence. Let your body physically experience that state as if it's already your reality. If you want love, feel what it feels like to be deeply loved and to deeply love someone. Feel the warmth in your chest. Feel the safety. Feel the connection. Feel the joy. If you want success, feel what it feels like to be successful. Feel the fulfillment. Feel the recognition. Feel the impact you're making. Spend 10 full minutes every single morning embodying your desired reality at the feeling level, at the identity level, and then carry that embodiment into your day. Make decisions from that identity. Speak from that identity. Move through the world from that identity. You're not faking it until you make it. You're training your nervous system to accept this as your new normal. Rule number 5. Detachment is your superpower in this game. This sounds contradictory at first. How can you want something intensely and be detached from it at the same time? But this is the paradox that unlocks everything. You must desire without needing. You must want without depending on it. You must aim for the outcome while being completely okay if it doesn't happen exactly as you imagined or exactly when you imagined. Because attachment is low frequency. Attachment is fear. Attachment is the energy of lack disguised as desire. Attachment says, if I don't get this specific thing in this specific way at this specific time, I'm not okay. I'm not complete. I'm not worthy. And that energy repels what you want. Detachment is high frequency. Detachment is trust. Detachment is faith. Detachment is the energy of abundance saying, I would absolutely love this outcome, and I'm already complete without it. I'm already whole. I'm already worthy. This outcome would be a beautiful addition to my already fulfilling life, but it's not the source of my fulfillment. And that energy attracts what you want like a magnet. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're indifferent. It doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you care deeply, you desire fully, while remaining energetically free. You're all in on the game, playing with everything you have, but you're not attached to the specific form the outcome takes. You're open to receiving what you want or something even better. You're open to the timing being different than you expected. You're open to the path being different than you planned. You're playing the game fully while knowing that your worth, your peace, your wholeness, your happiness is not dependent on winning this particular hand. This is advanced level play. Most people can't do this because their entire sense of self, their entire identity, their entire worth is wrapped up in outcomes. They need the relationship to feel lovable. They need the money to feel secure. They need the success to feel worthy. They need the recognition to feel valuable. So they're playing from desperation, from need, from fear of not having. And desperation never wins in the quantum game. Desperation is the frequency of losing. But when you can play full out, giving everything you have, while being completely detached from whether you win or lose this particular round, you become unstoppable. Because you're not playing from fear of losing. You're playing from the pure joy of playing. And that energy is magnetic beyond measure. Here's how to practice detachment. Whenever you notice yourself obsessing over an outcome, whenever you catch yourself checking for results constantly, whenever you feel anxiety rising about whether something is going to happen or not, pause. Take a breath. Place your hand on your heart. And ask yourself this question. If this specific outcome doesn't happen, will I still be okay? Will I still be worthy as a human being? Will I still be whole and complete? The answer must be yes. If the answer is not an immediate and clear yes, you have an attachment that's blocking your manifestation. You have a belief that your worth is dependent on this outcome. And that belief must be healed before the outcome can manifest. So work on that first. Remind yourself over and over that you're already complete. You're already worthy. You're already whole. The outcome you desire is just an addition to your completeness, not the source of it. And from that place of inner wholeness, from that place of already being complete, play the game with everything you have. That's detached involvement. That's how you win. Rule number 6. In the quantum game, there are no mistakes. There are only experiments and feedback. Most people are absolutely terrified of making the wrong move, so they freeze. They analysis paralysis themselves into inaction. They don't take the leap because they're afraid of messing up. They're afraid of looking stupid. They're afraid of wasting time. They're afraid of wasting money. They're afraid of failing publicly. They're afraid of being judged. And that fear keeps them stuck at level 1 of the game, while everyone else is leveling up around them. But here's the truth that will set you free. In a quantum game where reality is probabilistic and constantly shifting, you cannot make a wrong move. It's impossible. Because every move you make gives you information, every action you take creates a result, and that result tells you something valuable. It either shows you that you're on the right path and you should keep going, or it shows you that you need to adjust your approach and try something different. Both outcomes are equally valuable. Both move you forward. Both level you up. The people who win the quantum game are not the people who never make mistakes. They're not the people who get it right the first time. They're the people who make mistakes faster than everyone else. They take action quickly. They get feedback quickly. They adjust quickly. They take action again. They get more feedback. They adjust again. They're in constant motion. They're constantly iterating. They're constantly learning. They're constantly evolving. And with every single cycle of action and feedback, they get closer and closer to the outcome they desire. Meanwhile, the people who are afraid of making mistakes are still sitting on the sidelines, still planning, still researching, still waiting for perfect clarity, still waiting to feel completely ready. And they never move. They never learn. They never grow. They never level up. They stay stuck forever. So rule number 6 is crystal clear. Take action before you're ready. You will never have all the information you think you need. You will never have perfect clarity about the path forward. You will never feel completely prepared. Those feelings are illusions. Those are stories your fear creates to keep you safe, to keep you small, to keep you from taking risks. The quantum game rewards action. It rewards courage. It rewards people who are willing to move forward even when they don't know exactly where they're going. Because movement creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create evidence. Evidence creates confidence. Confidence creates more action, and more action creates better results. It's an upward spiral. But that spiral only begins when you take the first step before you feel ready. Here's your action protocol starting today. If you've been thinking about doing something for more than 1 week, do it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when conditions are perfect. Today. Don't wait for perfect conditions because perfect conditions don't exist. Don't wait for more information because you'll never have all the information. Don't wait to feel ready because you'll never feel completely ready. Take one action today that moves you toward your desired outcome. It doesn't have to be a massive action. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be an action. Send the email you've been putting off. Make the phone call you've been avoiding. Post the content you've been scared to share. Have the conversation you've been delaying. Start the project you've been planning forever. Whatever it is that you've been thinking about, do it today. And then tomorrow, take another action. And the day after that, take another action. Build the muscle of taking action before you're ready. That muscle, that ability to move forward despite uncertainty, is what separates winners from losers in the quantum game. Rule number 7. Energy management is the ultimate game strategy. In the quantum game, your energy is your most valuable currency. It's more valuable than your time. It's more valuable than your money. It's more valuable than your knowledge. Because without energy, you can't do anything. Without energy, you can't create. You can't focus. You can't take action. You can't maintain high states. You can't embody your desired outcomes. You're just surviving, dragging yourself through each day. And surviving is not playing the game. Surviving is being played by the game. So if you want to win, if you want to dominate, you absolutely must manage your energy ruthlessly. You have to protect it fiercely. You have to cultivate it intentionally. You have to spend it strategically. Most people leak energy everywhere without even realizing it. They give their energy away to toxic people who drain them. They waste their energy on meaningless activities that don't move them forward. They drain their energy through chronic worry and stress and negative thinking. They hemorrhage their energy through lack of sleep, poor nutrition, no exercise, and constant overstimulation. And then they wonder why they can't manifest anything, why they can't stay consistent with their goals, why they give up so easily, why they can't follow through. It's not a willpower problem. It's not a discipline problem. It's an energy problem. You can't win a game you don't have the energy to play, period. So before you do anything else, before you set big goals, before you try to manifest your dreams, you have to become an energy powerhouse. You have to have so much energy that you can play at full intensity without burning out. First, sleep like your life depends on it. Because it literally does, 7 to 9 hours every single night, non-negotiable. Your body needs sleep to repair tissues, to consolidate memories, to process emotions, to restore your nervous system. When you're sleep deprived, you're operating at 50% capacity at best. You're making poor decisions. You're in survival mode. You're reactive instead of creative. You cannot win from survival mode. Second, move your body every single day. Exercise is not just for physical health. It's for energetic health, mental health, emotional health. When you move your body, you generate energy. You clear stagnant energy. You activate your life force. Even just 20 minutes of movement will completely change your state for the entire day. Third, eat foods that are high frequency. Your body is literally made of what you consume. If you consume processed, low vibration, dead food, you become low vibration. If you consume fresh, alive, high vibration food, you become high vibration. It really is that simple. Fourth, ruthlessly eliminate energy vampires from your life. People who constantly drain you, who are always negative, who never give back, who only take. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to burn bridges. Just create distance. Spend less time with them. Protect your energy. Fifth, do one creative thing every single day. Creation generates energy. It connects you directly to source. Even if it's just writing one paragraph or drawing something simple or having one original thought and expanding on it. Create daily. And sixth, Practice presence as often as possible throughout your day. The more present you are, the more energy you have available, because you're not leaking energy into past regrets or future worries. All your energy is right here, right now, available for the game you're playing. Rule number 8. In the quantum game, collaboration beats competition every single time. Most people think life is a zero-sum game. They think if someone else wins, that means they lose. They think there's only so much success to go around, so they compete. They compare themselves constantly. They feel envy when others succeed. They try to take from others instead of creating value. And this scarcity mentality keeps them stuck in struggle forever. Because competition is scarcity consciousness at its core. Competition assumes there's not enough for everyone. Competition creates resistance and tension. And resistance blocks the natural flow of abundance. But here's the truth that will change everything. The quantum field is literally infinite. There is enough for everyone. There is more than enough for everyone. Someone else's success does not in any way diminish your potential for success. In fact, their success proves that success is possible, because it knows that on the other side of the breakdown is the breakthrough. On the other side of the death is the rebirth. On the other side of the chaos is the new creation. This is where faith becomes practical. When your entire life is restructuring, when you can't see the path forward, when doubt is screaming in your mind, you come back to one thing: your frequency. You ask yourself, am I in coherence right now? Am I holding the frequency of my desire? If the answer is no, you do the coherence practice. 5 minutes of heart-focused breathing with gratitude. You recalibrate. You return to center. And from that centered place, you take the next aligned action, not desperate action, not fear-based action, aligned action, action that feels like a yes in your body, action that matches your new frequency. The unshakable mind knows that every circumstance is temporary, but frequency is creative. Circumstances are effects. Frequency is cause. When you focus on circumstances, you stay trapped in the effect. When you focus on frequency, you change the cause, which means the effects must change. It's non-negotiable. This is why the unshakable mind can remain peaceful in chaos. It knows that chaos is just old frequency dissolving. Peace is the new frequency emerging, and peace always wins because peace is a higher frequency than chaos. Higher frequencies always override lower frequencies. Always. This is physics. Light dispels darkness. You don't have to fight the darkness. You just turn on the light. You don't have to fight your old reality. You just raise your frequency. The old reality cannot exist in the presence of your new frequency. It dissolves automatically. Let me give you the ultimate manifestation formula. This is everything you need to know distilled into one simple process. Step 1. Get clear on what you want. Not what you think you should want. Not what other people want for you. What you actually want. Write it down. Be specific. Step 2. Identify the frequency of having it. How would you feel if you already had it? What would your energy be like? What would your daily state be? This is your target frequency. Step 3. Practice entering that frequency daily through the coherence practice and the morning-evening identity embodiment. Step 4. Take aligned action from that frequency. Not forced action, not desperate action. Action that feels inspired, that feels like flow. Step 5. Trust the lag time. Hold the frequency even when physical evidence hasn't shown up. Know that it's done in the quantum field and it's making its way to you. Step 6. Allow the reorganization. Let the old fall away. Don't cling to structures that no longer match your frequency. This is the formula. This is the process. And it works 100% of the time when you work it correctly. The only reason it ever fails is because people drop the frequency before the manifestation arrives. They hold it for a week and then go back to doubt. They hold it for a month and then fall back into fear. They make progress and then they self-sabotage. Why? Because their subconscious is still running old programs. Their body is still addicted to old chemistry. Their identity hasn't actually shifted. They're trying to manifest a new reality with an old frequency. And that's impossible. You cannot create a new reality with an old frequency. It violates the law. You must become the new frequency first. Then the new reality follows. The unshakable mind solves this problem through consistency. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Every time you notice you've dropped the frequency, you recalibrate. Every time you catch yourself in doubt, you return to coherence. Every time fear tries to take over, you come back to your practice. You do this not once or twice, but hundreds of times. And each time you do it, the neural pathway gets stronger. The cellular addiction to your new chemistry gets stronger. Your identity as someone who holds this frequency gets stronger. Until one day, it's no longer effort. It's who you are. You've become the frequency. And when you become the frequency, manifestation is automatic. You're not trying to attract anything. You're simply being who you are. And reality reflects that back to you effortlessly. Here's something nobody tells you. The biggest block to manifestation is not lack of technique. It's lack of worthiness. Deep in your subconscious, you don't believe you deserve what you're asking for. And the universe will never give you something you don't believe you deserve. It can't. Because your frequency is determined by your sense of self-worth. If you feel unworthy, you vibrate at the frequency of unworthiness. And that frequency repels abundance, repels love, repels success. This is why inner work is not optional. You cannot skip the self-worth piece and expect manifestation to work. You can do all the techniques perfectly, but if you fundamentally believe you're not worthy, you'll sabotage every manifestation before it fully materializes. You'll get close, and then something will happen to take it away. This is not bad luck. This is your subconscious protecting you from receiving something it believes you don't deserve. So how do you heal unworthiness? By recognizing it's a lie. You are not unworthy. You never were. Unworthiness was programmed into you by people who themselves felt unworthy. It was taught to you by a society that profits from your insecurity. It was installed in your subconscious before you had the capacity to question it. But it's not true. The truth is this: you are a unique expression of universal consciousness. You are the universe experiencing itself from a specific perspective. You are made of the same energy that creates galaxies and orchestrates the seasons. You are inherently worthy because you exist. Your worthiness is not something you earn, it's something you are. When you really get this, when you feel it in your bones, everything changes. You stop asking if you're worthy of your desires. You start asking what desires are worthy of you. You stop begging the universe for scraps. You start claiming your birthright. You stop vibrating at the frequency of "please give me," and you start vibrating at the frequency of "I am ready to receive." And that shift in frequency changes everything. The universe doesn't respond to begging. It responds to claiming. When you claim your desires from a place of worthiness, the universe says, "Finally, you're ready," and floods you with manifestations. Let me share the most powerful truth about the unshakable mind. It's not unshakable because nothing bothers it. It's unshakable because it knows how to return to center faster than it gets knocked off center. You will get triggered. Life will throw curveballs. Circumstances will challenge you. That's not the problem. The problem is staying in the reaction. The unshakable mind feels the emotion, processes it, and returns to coherence. It doesn't suppress. It doesn't deny. It feels fully and then releases consciously. This is emotional mastery, and emotional mastery is frequency mastery, and frequency mastery is manifestation mastery. When you master your frequency, you master your reality. It's that simple. Not easy, but simple. Your reality right now is the perfect reflection of your past frequencies. Everything you're experiencing is the materialization of the frequencies you were broadcasting days, weeks, months ago. Which means your future reality is being created by the frequency you're broadcasting right now. Right now, in this moment. You are creating your tomorrow with today's frequency. You are manifesting your next year with this year's emotional state. You are designing your future with your current identity. This is simultaneously the most empowering and most terrifying truth, because it means you have total responsibility. No one is doing this to you. You are doing this. Your frequency is your choice. Your focus is your choice. Your emotional state is your choice, and therefore your reality is your choice. The unshakable mind takes full responsibility. It stops blaming circumstances, people, the economy, the government, bad luck. It recognizes that all of those are effects, not causes. The cause is always frequency, and frequency is always a choice. When you take responsibility for your frequency, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of reality and you become the creator of reality. This is the shift from unconscious manifestation to conscious manifestation. From accidentally creating your life to deliberately designing your life. And once you make this shift, there's no going back. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unknow what you know. You are forever changed. You become the conscious creator you were always meant to be. So here's where we are. You now understand that manifestation is not about doing techniques. It's about being a frequency. You know that your frequency is determined by the coherence between your mind, heart, and body. You know that you must become what you want before you can have what you want. You know that the lag time between frequency shift and physical manifestation is where most people quit, and that the unshakable mind is what bridges that gap. You know that your worthiness is not in question, and that claiming your desires from a place of inherent worthiness is what opens the floodgates of manifestation. And you know that this is not theory. This is physics. This is how reality works. The question now is, are you willing to commit? Are you willing to do the coherence practice 3 times a day for the next 30 days? Are you willing to embody your desired identity every morning and night? Are you willing to hold your frequency even when circumstances seem to contradict it? Are you willing to let the old fall away so the new can emerge? Sometimes what looks like a confusing detour is actually a shortcut to something better. Sometimes what looks like a closed door is actually protection from a path that would have taken you away from your highest good. You can't see the entire game board. You can only see your individual piece and a few moves ahead. But the quantum field sees absolutely everything simultaneously. Every variable, every possibility, every outcome, and it's moving everything into perfect position specifically for you. So Rule 11 is practice trusting the timing of your life completely. Stop trying to force things to happen on your rigid schedule. Stop panicking when things don't manifest immediately. Stop quitting just because you can't see results yet. Trust with everything in you that if you're consistently holding the elevated frequency, if you're taking aligned action daily, if you're embodying the outcome internally, the physical manifestation is inevitable. It's already complete in the quantum field. It's already done energetically. Now it's simply making its way into physical three-dimensional form. And that materialization process takes whatever time it takes. Your job is simply to stay in the game, to keep playing with full commitment, to keep trusting even when you see no evidence, especially when you see no evidence, because that's precisely when most people quit. Right before the breakthrough, right before everything they've been working toward shows up. Don't be most people. Be the person who trusts timing. Be the person who stays in the game. Be the person who wins. Now let me give you the advanced strategies that will accelerate your wins exponentially. Strategy 1. Stack your wins intelligently. Don't make the common mistake of setting one single massive goal and putting all your energy and focus into only that. Because when that goal takes time to manifest, which it will, you'll get discouraged. You'll lose momentum. Your frequency will drop. You'll start doubting. Instead, create multiple goals simultaneously at different levels of difficulty. Some easy, quick wins that you can achieve within days or weeks. Some medium-level wins that require more effort and will take 1 to 3 months. And some ambitious, long-term wins that represent your ultimate vision and might take 6 months to multiple years. And work on all 3 categories simultaneously every single week. Why is this so effective? Because every single win, no matter how small, generates massive momentum. Every win proves to your subconscious mind that you can succeed, that you're capable, that you're a winner. Every win raises your frequency immediately. Every win builds genuine confidence. So when you intentionally stack small wins consistently week after week, you create a powerful upward spiral of success. You're constantly proving to yourself that you're someone who wins. You're repeatedly experiencing the feeling of achievement. And that victorious feeling is magnetic. That's what attracts bigger and bigger achievements. You're literally training your nervous system to expect success, to normalize winning, to become addicted to achieving. Create 3 clear categories. Quick wins achievable this week. Medium wins achievable this quarter. Long-term wins that are your ultimate vision. Work on all 3 every single week without fail. This creates unstoppable momentum. Strategy 2. Consciously design your environment to match your desired reality. Your environment is never neutral. Every single space you spend time in is either actively supporting your elevated frequency or subtly dragging you down toward lower frequencies. The true masters of this game understand environmental design deeply and leverage it strategically. They intentionally create spaces that perfectly reflect the reality they're manifesting. If they're manifesting wealth and abundance, their environment looks abundant, organized, clean, high quality, not fake, not beyond their current means, but intentionally designed to match the energetic frequency of wealth and success. If they're manifesting optimal health, their environment supports healthy choices, fresh, whole foods readily available, exercise equipment visible and accessible, water everywhere as constant reminders, natural light flooding in, plants bringing life force energy into the space. Why does environmental design work so powerfully? Because your environment constantly programs your subconscious mind. You spend hours and hours every single day in your environment. Your subconscious is absorbing signals and information from your surroundings continuously, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. If you're trying desperately to manifest abundance and success while living surrounded by clutter, chaos, and broken things, your subconscious is receiving the constant signal of disorder and dysfunction. If you're trying to manifest confidence and success while surrounding yourself with reminders of past failures and mediocrity, your subconscious is receiving the signal that you're not a winner. But when you deliberately design your environment to match your desired reality at every level, your subconscious mind begins to believe and accept that this desired reality is already here, already real, already your normal lived experience. And that subconscious belief is what directly creates manifestation in physical form. Look around your current space right now with fresh eyes. What is your environment telling you about yourself? What frequency is it broadcasting back to you constantly? Is it communicating success or struggle, abundance or lack, growth or stagnation, order or chaos? Be brutally honest with yourself. Now make one meaningful change this week that elevates the frequency of your space. Declutter one area completely. Add one beautiful object that makes you smile. Reorganize one room for better energy flow. Remove one item that carries negative associations or heavy energy. Just one intentional change. Next week, make another upgrade. Week after week, your entire environment gradually transforms. And as your environment transforms to match your desires, your internal state transforms. And as your internal state transforms, your external reality must transform to match it. This is the power of environmental design. Strategy 3. Practice quantum jumping daily. This advanced technique consciously shifts you between parallel realities. In quantum physics, the many worlds interpretation proposes that every possible version of reality, every possible outcome, every possible version of you exists simultaneously right now in parallel universes. Quantum jumping is the practice of consciously choosing which version of reality you want to experience and literally jumping your consciousness into that timeline. Once daily, ideally in the morning before your day begins, sit quietly in meditation. Close your eyes. Take several deep breaths to enter a relaxed, receptive state. Now imagine there's a doorway directly in front of you. Behind that door exists the parallel reality where you already have absolutely everything you desire. The version of you who is already wildly successful, abundantly wealthy, deeply loved, completely fulfilled, whatever your specific desired outcome is, exists fully realized behind that door. Visualize yourself reaching for the door handle. Open the door slowly and step through the threshold. As you step through into that parallel reality, you literally become that elevated version of yourself. You're not watching that version of you from outside. You are that version. You have become them. Look around from the eyes of that successful self. What do you see in this reality? How does your physical body feel in this version of reality? What thoughts naturally run through your mind as this version of you? How do you carry yourself? What's your energy like? Spend at least 10 full minutes completely embodied in that parallel reality. Make every detail as vivid and real as possible. Engage all 5 senses. See the colors and shapes. Hear the sounds. Smell the scents. Feel the textures. Taste the tastes. Most importantly, feel the emotions. Feel what it genuinely feels like to be that version of you living in that desired reality. Practice this quantum jumping meditation daily for 30 consecutive days minimum. What you're doing is training your consciousness to exist in that parallel reality for longer and longer periods. The more time your consciousness spends in that elevated reality during meditation, the more your physical three-dimensional reality begins shifting and morphing to match it. Because consciousness creates reality at the quantum level. Where your consciousness consistently goes, your physical reality inevitably follows. You're literally jumping timelines, selecting a different probability from the quantum field of infinite possibilities, and collapsing that specific probability into your lived experience. Strategy 4. Master the law of assumption completely. This is one of the most powerful universal laws operating in the quantum game, and most people totally misunderstand how to use it. The law of assumption states with absolute certainty that whatever you deeply assume to be true about yourself, about your life, about your reality, will become true in physical manifestation. Not might become true, will become true. Because your assumptions create your perceptual filter. Your assumptions determine what you notice and what you completely ignore. What you expect and what you don't expect. What you naturally attract and what you repel. How you interpret every single event. And ultimately, what you physically experience as your reality. If you walk through life assuming that life is hard and unfair, you will find overwhelming evidence everywhere confirming that life is hard and unfair. If you assume people cannot be trusted, you will consistently attract untrustworthy people into your experience. If you assume money is difficult to earn, you will struggle and work hard for every dollar. Your assumption functions as the lens through which you perceive and interpret reality. And reality always, without exception, confirms whatever lens you're looking through. This is quantum mechanics in action. The masters of this game consciously and deliberately choose their assumptions. They don't passively allow assumptions to form unconsciously based on past negative experiences and conditioning. They actively install new assumptions that fully support their desired reality. First, identify your current assumptions operating beneath the surface. What do you unconsciously assume about yourself? About life? About money? About relationships? About your capabilities? About your worth? Write down every assumption you can identify. Be completely honest. Now examine each assumption critically and ask, is this assumption supporting my desired reality or actively blocking it? Any assumption that blocks your desired reality must be immediately replaced with a new, empowering assumption. For example, if your current unconscious assumption is, I'm not naturally good with money and never will be, consciously replace it with the new assumption, money flows to me easily and naturally, and I'm excellent at managing wealth. Now here's the crucial part. You must live from that new assumption starting immediately, even before you have any physical evidence supporting it. You must act as if that assumption is already completely true. You must interpret every single event through that new assumption. You must fiercely protect that assumption against all contradictory evidence your old reality presents. Because as you hold that new assumption with unwavering consistency, physical reality reorganizes itself to confirm the new assumption. This is not willpower. This is not positive thinking. This is quantum law in action. Strategy 5. Become the person who already won the entire game. This is the ultimate meta strategy that integrates everything. This is what makes you absolutely unstoppable. Stop waiting until you achieve external goals to become that elevated version of yourself. Become that person right now, today, this very moment. Embody the complete identity of someone who has already won the quantum game at the highest possible level. How does that person think on a daily basis? How do they feel most of the time? How do they move through the world? How do they make both small and large decisions? How do they respond to challenges and obstacles? How do they treat other people? How do they treat themselves? Become that person immediately. Because here's the secret that 99% of people completely miss. You don't magically become that elevated person after you win and achieve success. You win and achieve success because you became that person first. The identity shift always precedes the external results. Always. This is the law of identity operating. You cannot and will not ever outperform your current identity. If you identify deep down as someone who struggles and fails, you will struggle and fail regardless of techniques. If you identify as someone who's naturally lucky, you will be lucky. If you identify as someone who always wins, you will win. Your identity, who you believe yourself to be at the deepest level, is the strongest force in your entire psychology. It determines absolutely everything about your experience. So if you genuinely want to win the quantum game at the highest level, you must shift your core identity to winner right now. How? Stop waiting for external evidence to believe you're a winner. Stop saying, "I'll believe I'm successful when I see success." Completely flip that backwards equation. Become a winner now in your identity, in your thoughts, in your feelings, in your actions, and then watch in amazement as tangible results pour into your experience. Act like a winner acts. Think like a winner thinks. Speak like a winner speaks. Make decisions like a winner makes decisions. Treat yourself like a winner treats themselves. Even when, especially when, your current external circumstances don't reflect it yet. That's the ultimate test. Can you hold the identity of winner even when everything around you screams that you're not winning yet? If you can hold that identity with unshakable consistency, you pass the test. And the quantum field has no choice but to reorganize your entire reality to match your new identity. Here's your final activation challenge. For the next 30 days straight, you will live as the person who has already completely won. Every single morning before starting your day, ask yourself this powerful question. How would the version of me who has already won everything show up today? And then show up exactly that way. When you face any decision throughout your day, ask, what would the winner version of me choose in this situation? And choose exactly that. When challenges and obstacles arise, ask, how would the winner version of me respond to this? And respond exactly that way. Speak like a winner speaks, with confidence, with clarity, with authenticity, with power. Move through space like a winner moves, with purpose, with presence, with certainty. Think like a winner thinks, abundantly, strategically, optimistically, creatively. Treat yourself like a winner treats themselves, with deep respect, with genuine care, with high standards, with compassion. And treat other people like a winner would treat them, with generosity, with kindness, with authentic contribution and service. For 30 days straight, without breaking the chain, embody winner identity in every single moment of your waking life. At the end of those 30 days, you will have become that person at the cellular level. And once you have become that person in identity, winning becomes completely inevitable. It's no longer a question of if, only when. This is the quantum game. This is precisely how you win it. Not by hoping, not by wishing, not by waiting for circumstances to change. By becoming, by embodying, by playing at the absolute highest level you're capable of playing at. By showing up every single day as the version of you who has already won everything. And then watching in awe as your external reality rapidly rearranges itself to perfectly match who you have become internally. The game is fully active. The quantum field is wide open. The universe is literally waiting for your next move. What's it going to be? Are you going to keep playing small and safe? Keep waiting for someone to give you permission? Keep doubting yourself and your capabilities? Or are you going to step fully into the game with everything you have? Are you going to claim your winner identity right now? Are you going to commit to playing to dominate? The choice has always been yours. It's only ever been yours. And the very moment you truly understand that, at a cellular level, the moment you genuinely embody that truth, you have already won the game. Welcome to the quantum game. Now go out there and play at your highest level and win everything.